the temple construction comes under Purta. This is a Kama karma as well, performed uh, for some desire. So when construction of the temples, the important thing again here is, again, construction of temple comes in many places in Puranas, mentions the construction of temple, any temple, Vishnu, Shiva, or Durga, or any, depending on which Purana you take out, it says that it gives all the merits going to every Tirtha Kshetra or everything like that. So that's why temple construction or contributing to temple construction is always good. What is also important to note here is it is not one's responsibility, it just does not disappear when we say I've given X amount of, or I've given X amount of cement or brick or stone or whatever it is to a temple construction. Okay. What is important here is what happens after that construction is complete. So that means the temple runs as it should be. So there is always pujas and things like that, the rituals performed as said in the Shastras. So it is also the responsibility of the donor who says that I'm going to support this temple construction. Okay. Just like for an example, similar example is when one gives, for example, a godana, okay, cows, gifting of cows. Okay. So when a brahmanas, when somebody gives a cow to brahmana, there are lot of things also. So normally these days, what happens is when somebody gives a cow, okay, simple form is, so I've seen places, for example, cow dana, the godana happens where Brahmana himself brings a cow from his own house, saying that this cow is 5,000 pounds or 50,000 50,000 rupees or whatever it is. He says that, and then whoever want to give, he gives that 50,000 rupees, says that this cow is mine, and then he gives that cow back to that Brahmana, saying, here is my dana. Okay, that's one way of doing. But normally, Godana means the person who gives the cow. Again, there are a lot of lakshanas or the characteristics, qualities of that cow should have. Okay, it should be milking, it should have a calf with it, it should be adorned with, its horn should be adorned with gold, and the giving procedures and all those kind of things are there. What the giver should do the day before and on the day and things like that. But the other responsibility is what happens after giving that thing, that I'm giving this cow to you. When he transfers that, he also need to make sure that Brahmana who is taking the cow has a cow shed for it. Okay, he is not going to tie it in a hot sun somewhere under it. So it is not like that. He should have that. So, and that cow is safely delivered to Brahmana's home. Okay, so for example, I'm in this village and the Brahmana lives in 3 villages after this. It is my responsibility. Brahmana coming to my house and I'm giving him the cow. I can't say my job is done. Okay, so my job is to make sure that that cow safely reaches Brahmana's place, and at his place, it is my responsibility to make sure that cow has a shed, and that shed is protected from wild animals, fire, and things like that. It is protected. It is not carrying such a risk and things like that. Okay, so all those things comes with the godana. Similarly, a temple construction means just not giving some donation, because these days we see temple construction everywhere. Every street, if you go to India, every street, end of the street, there is a temple. God knows which devata is there. Okay, because devatas as well are manufactured in large numbers these days. So we will see all sort of temples coming up. And those temples are not maintained after what happens. So the Kumbhabhishek or Prana Pratishtha and things like that, that happens. Grand ceremonies happen, temple opening. Okay. And then after that, there is no priest to perform puja. Then somebody, random guys who is not even Brahmanas, they come and start doing all the pujas and things like that. That should not happen. So if things like that happen, that sin attaches to the person who actually helped the construction of the temple. So this is where it is very important, just like the cow's case. Okay, if I have given a cow as a godana, and it dies at the Brahmana's place because it did not have the water, or there was a fire risk and things like that, it dies. The killing that cow sin, the cow killing sin attaches to the giver of that cow. Just like that, here, if a temple is constructed and it is not seen through, it does not have the arrangements to make sure that there is proper structure, there is proper things in place, that there is going to be rituals and everything that needed for the temple happens as per the Shastras. If that is not there, then that donation or whatever one says I have given is useless. Okay. So this is very important, because every now and then we see temple constructions, but we don't see what happens after that. It has to happen after the construction, the temple construction, the Kumbhabhisheka or Pranapratishtha or whatever that's performed, the rituals has to happen as per the Shastras. That responsibility is on the person who contributed to that temple construction. That is very important. So here, Purta means the one who helps in construction of those temples. So that means construction and making sure that there is a functioning part as a functioning organization, or whatever you want to call, that makes sure that those rituals takes place in that temple. Okay. That doesn't mean that we should not give to temple construction. It is an additional responsibility when we are giving and supporting any temple construction. Just to clarify here, just when we are giving something to temple construction, we also need to make sure that there is a continued rituals and things like that that happens in that place. It is not just one-off construction, because the challenge these days is there will be temples construction, because they have on the other state, they have Vishnu's temple, we construct here Shiva temple, or they have that Devi temple, we create this Devi temple here. So this is a kind of become competition, and after a year, if we go there, there is no puja, or even if puja is not done, it is not by the Brahmanas, and there are a lot of problems. Okay, so a lot of temples we see these days, everywhere we see temple, but most of those temples are not properly run. So the message here is, when giving to temple construction, make sure that it is going in the right direction. It is for the right temple. It is for the, because there are so many temples, in most cases, we probably don't need new temples. Okay, what we need is supporting of those temples. There are so many old temples that do not currently have the facilities, and or they need renovation and things like that, or even where there are Brahmanas who are doing pujas, archakas, they're not getting paid enough. Okay, so supporting that itself is like constructing a temple. You are stopping a temple becoming going into destruction, right? So our renovation of the temple, that's an ancient temple that's there already there, which is again pujas and everything is done properly, but it does not have the funds to renovate. Supporting that is like construction of a temple. So it doesn't have to be a brand new temple in a brand new place. It can be an Jeernoddhara or renovation of the existing temple, or supporting an existing temple where Brahmanas, the Archakas are struggling and things like that. They are not getting enough income, and making sure that they are supported through that. That means the temple continues to survive. Right. So this is what is important here. But there are cases where temples are constructed and they are planned and they are needed in that community and things like that, where there is a clear plan on how the pujas, rituals and things are going to be happening and things like that. These places, yes, definitely can donate and can be part of that. Again, construction of temple is one of the greatest merits one could accumulate. But also that comes with responsibilities, just like I gave example of the dana of cows, okay, godana. So there are additional responsibilities. That's what one need to be aware of.